Volume is low.
Hey everyone, today is Tuesday, April 16th, 2024. We're now going to start our session. Sandhya
Volume नहीं
Upaasanaa.
आ रहा है.
Our speaker today
Not
is
able
Dr.
to hear you. That's up.
Can you hear me now?
I have full volume.
We can all hear him.
We can all hear you.
We can hear you.
मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
आ रही है जी.
Yes.
आ रही है.
I have volume. मेरी आवाज आ रही है तो क्या?
आ रही है.
आ रही
आ
है.
रही है.
Yes.
Is it okay?
Yes.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
we can hear.
Okay. तो विनय करवा लें मैं अपना.
ठीक है. चलो विनय जी, आप संध्या शुरू करा सकते हैं प्लीज.
हाँ, okay. All right. Just close your eyes. We'll chant Om 3 times. Then Om. 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 Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Argo Devasya Dhimmahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayat. Om Shanno Devi Abhishtaye Apo Bhavantu Pitaye Shayyo Abhishravan Naha. Is there echo from my side?
It may be coming from my side, I think. I should leave it.
Okay. Om Vak Vak. Om Prana Prana. Om Chakshu Chakshu. Om Shrotram Shrotram. Om Nabhi. Om Hridayam. Om Kantaha. Om Shiraha. Om Bahubhyam Yasho Balam. Om Kartal Kar Pishthe. Om Punatu Shirasi. Om Bhuvaha Punatu Netrayoho. Om Swaha Punatu Kanthe. Om Maha Punatu Hridaye. Om Janaha Punatu Nabhyam. Om Tapaha Punatu Padayo. Om Satyam Punatu Punashirasi. Om Kham Brahma Punatu Sarvatra. Om Bhu. Om Bhuva. Om Swaha. Om Maha. Om Jana. Om Tapa. Om Satyam. ॐ ऋतं च सत्यं चावेदात्तवसोऽध्यजायत ततो रात्र्यजायत ततः समुद्रो वर्णवात् ॐ समुद्रादर्णवादधि संवत्सरो अजायत अहोरात्राणि विदधद्विश्वस्य मिषतो वशि ॐ सूर्या चन्द्रमसौ दाता यथा पूर्वमकल्पयत् दिवं च पृथिवीं चान्तरिक्षमतो स्वः ॐ शन्नो देवीरभिष्टय आपो भवन्तु पीतये संयोरभिस्रवन्तु नः ॐ प्राचीदिगग्निरधिपतिरसितो रक्षिता आदित्या ईशवः तेभ्यो नमो धिपतिभ्यो नमो रक्षितृभ्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः एभ्यो अस्तु योऽस्मान् द्वेष्टियं वयं विश्मस्तं भोजं भेदद्मः ॐ दक्षिणादिगिन्द्रोऽधिपतिस्थिरक्षिराजिरक्षिता पितर ईशवः तेभ्यो नमो धिपतिभ्यो नमो रक्षितृभ्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः एभ्यो अस्तु योऽस्मान् द्वेष्टियं वयं विश्मस्तं भेचि रक्षिता तेभ्यो तिभ्यो नमोभ्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः एभ्यो अस्तु योऽस्मान् द्वेष्टियं वयं विश्मस्तं भोजं भेदद्मः रक्षिता अशनिरिषवः तेभ्यो नमः एभ्यो अस्तु योऽस्मोजं भेदद्मः ॐ ध्रुवदिग्विष्णुरधिपतिः कल्माशग्रीवो तेभ्यो नमो धिपतिभ्यो नमो युभ्यो नमः एभ्यो अस्तु द्वेष्टियं वयं विश्मस्तं भोजम् ओधिपतिश्वित्रो रक्षिता वर्षमीषवः तेभ्यो नमो देवदेभ्यो नमो रक्षितृभ्यो नमः ईशुभ्यो नमः एभ्यो अस्तु योऽस्मान् द्वेष्टियं वयं विश्मस्तं भोजं भेदद्मः ॐमुद्वयं तमसस्प उत्तरं देवं देवत्रासु जातवेदसं देवं वहन्ति सूर्यम् ॐ चित्रं देवानामुदगादनीकं चक्षुर्मित्रस्य वरुण आप्राद्या वा पृथिवीयन्त सूर्य आत्मा जगतस्तस्तु षष्ठ स्वाहा ॐ तच्चक्षुर्देवहितं पुरस्तात् शुक्रमुच्चरत् पश्येम शरदाः शतं जीवेम शरदाः शतं शृणुयाम शरदाः शतं प्रब्रवास्याम शरदाः शतं भूयश्च शरदाः शतात् ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ईश्वर दयानिधे भवत्कृपया नैन जपोपासनादि कर्मणा धर्मार्थ काम मोक्ष सिद्धिर्भवेन्नः ॐ नमः मयो भवाय च नाङ्कराय च मयस्कराय च नमः शिवाय च शिवतराय च ॐ शान्तिः 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 यदि संध्या उपासना ब्रह्मज्ञानगते अपनी दोनों हथौड़ियों से घर्षण पैदा करके उष्णता को अपने चक्षुओं की तरफ ले जाकर दोनों आंखों को खोल दें और ईश्वर का धन्यवाद करें। सबको नमस्ते।
थैंक यू विनय जी। नमस्ते जी, आप यू आर नाउ वी कैन सी यू। आप म्यूटेड है, आवाज नहीं आ रही।
अभी आवाज आ रही है?
आ रही है।
अच्छा, तो आपकी आज्ञा हो तो मैं शुरू करूं?
हाँ, शुरू जी, डेफिनेटली स्टार्ट करिए।
तो सबसे पहले मेरा सब लोगों को सादर नमस्ते और डॉक्टर राज भल्ला जी का और डॉक्टर सुधीर आनंद जी का विशेष धन्यवाद that I got this opportunity. Today I'm going to talk about Vanprastha, and I have chosen the title as Vanprastha Ethard or Man Se Muni. To some extent, the provocation came from Dr. Sudhir Anand's talk about the age of Vanprastha ashram. So we'll talk about, is there any indication of age not only for Vanprastha ashram but other ashrams as well? And what are the indications which are available which give a clue as to what may be the appropriate or a practical age for getting into the Vanprastha ashram? So we'll talk about what Vanprastha is, what is the appropriate age, what is the vidhi prescribed, or what a Vanprastha is supposed to do after one gets dikshit into this ashram. And there are certain things which we will discuss at the end, which are essential not for only one ashram, but for every ashram. And no ashram is complete without performing those duties. So that will be at the later part of the pravachan. So let's start. What is Vanprastha? When you Google, you may find even weird meaning of Vanprastha. At one place I found it is way to forest or towards forest. Now the Vanprastha is not a direction to the forest or a road leading to forest. It is a person when living in forest is called Vanprastha, a dweller in forest. वन में रहने वाला और वनी, that is the meaning of Vanprastha. The Vanprastha ashram is the order of Vanprastha, and the Vanprastha dharma is the duty or law relating to the Vanprastha ashram or Vanprasthis. So we'll talk about the age. Now, Swamiji in Sanskar Vidhi has not indicated the age or as a vidhi or a prescription, but he has indicated that it should be uprant 50 years, 50 varshon ke baad. Now, if we look at the age prescribed for the Brahmacharya ashram, Swamiji has indicated the age for Vanprastha ashram, for the entry into Brahmacharya ashram is minimum 8, which is compulsory. So the only date which is mandatory I found in all is the beginning of Brahmacharya ashram, that is at the age of 8. It is the duty of the state to arrange schooling or the Gurukul for everyone who is eligible to go to the school or Gurukul. Other than that, I couldn't find any day, any year which is compulsory. or mandatory or as a strict prescription. Now, regarding the Brahmacharya ashram, Swamiji has mentioned that age varies from 48 years to 25 years. And there are slaves. The best is one who studies in Brahmacharya ashram up to the age of 48 and then decides to go for grihast. The lower than that is 44, then 40, then 36, 30, and the lowest is 25, not below 25. Means up to 25 one must study. Age studying, that minimum age described for the entry into the other ashram, that is grihastha ashram. Similarly, for girls, it is 24 is the highest, and the lowest or the minimum is the 16 years of age. If you go by the best age prescribed by Swamiji, it is 48 years. And so if you think 50 years as age prescribed for one prastha, that will be impracticable. So this will depend upon what is your the duration of Brahmacharya ashram, how long you study, and then you decide to go for grihastha ashram. So the 50 years is not the age which can be a firm date for entering into for the Vanprastha ashram, because the age of grihastha ashram itself will vary depending upon the completion of education, etc. Now, other thing which is notable here is that Swamiji leaves it optional for entering into grihastha ashram, as well as even from Vanprastha to sannyas ashram. The word used is ichha, jab ichha kare. And I quote the words of Swamiji from Sanskar Vidhi. It says, grihastram जब विद्या हस्तक्रिया ब्रह्मचर्य व्रत भी पूर्ण होए तभी गृहश्रम की इच्छा स्त्री या पुरुष करे. So that depends on the sweet will when you want to enter into grihastha. Similarly, regarding the Vanprastha, Swamiji writes that जब आपकी इच्छा हो तब आप संन्यास ग्रहण करें. So it is left to the discretion, and it is absolutely optional. So there is nothing sacrosanct about the age that 50 years means you should think of entering into Vanprastha ashram. Then what are the when they are indicative? The indication is that there are three things mentioned in Sanskar Vidhi, and which means I don't know whether all of them or one of them should be satisfied before you think of entering into Vanprastha ashram. One is that when aapke baal safed dikhe, when you see the hairs are growing white. Second, when you notice wrinkles in your skin, chamda dhila ho. And third is putrika bhi putro hai, that you are blessed with the grandson. So these are the conditions. Then after you should think of Vanprastha ashram. Satpal Brahman gives only the order that, after Brahmacharya ashram, a person should go to grihastha ashram. Thereafter, Vani Bhavet, and after Vani, Parivrajit, be sannyasi. So it is only a sequence given, and that's, if one becomes a sannyasi following this kram, that is called kram sannyas. And there are exceptions like Swami Dayanand or even Sankaracharya, that they, from Brahmacharya, they opted for the sannyas ashram. So this is clear that there is no mandatory age for entering into grihastha ashram or Vanprastha ashram or even sannyas ashram. Okay, now I will talk about that. Is there any indication from other text that when you should go or opt for Vanprasthashram. So what you are supposed to do in Vanprasthashram, there are several things which are prescribed, which are written. And first thing is yoga abhyas. Second is the study of sacred scriptures, shastras. Third is the satsang with Mahatmas. And fourth is the realization of self and Ishwar, that is Atma and Paramatma. Now, if you go by that, what are the secret shastras? That means the moksha granthas. And moksha granthas or moksha shastras are Vedas, Upanishads, and Sardarshan, etc. Now, the Sankaracharya has prescribed three. That is, one is Upanishad, second is Brahma Sutra, and third is Gita. They call it Prasthantraya. So if you go by the Brahma Sutra, which is important Shastra, in the first, it says, Athato Brahma Jigyasha. The Ath is thereafter. And the interpretation of Ath is after what? So Sankaracharya says after you practice the Shatak Sampati, Samdam, Uparati, Titiksha, Samadhan, etc. Our learned Vedic scholar, Brahma Muniji, doesn't agree with that. He says it is too high a requirement for study of Moksha Grantha. It should be enough experience of household or enough sufferings one should have gone through. When you realize that there is a way out of these sufferings and there is a level, higher level of attainment possible in this life, with this curiosity, you can start studying the Moksha Granthas, Brahma Sutra, etc. Now, I here want to share a story, and that is story I read in a book written by Swami Vivekananda. Now, it is not the Swami Vivekananda of Ramakrishna Mission. It is Swami Vivekananda who runs a Gurukul, which is Prabhata Ashram, one of the best Gurukuls in India. I happened to meet him, so he had given me a book. So I went through, he had quoted an instance where some person comes to meet Swami Dayananda Saraswati, and he says that I'm a Brahmin. So Swamiji's question was, have you some knowledge of Sanskrit? He says, not much. Then Swami asked him, what are you doing? Say, I have retired from government service and I'm getting pension for my livelihood. Then what are you doing? Oh, I'm busy with helping my son and there are small children and I help them. Then Swamiji says that, are they financially okay? They have a good means of livelihood. Then they say, no, you should not think of spending your time with them. They are capable of handling their affairs themselves. What you should do, you should find time for society. And he indicates that in Orissa, in some pockets, there are a lot of conversion going on. Go there, tell the people about one Brahma, and give them the knowledge of Gayatri Mantra. So that means that when there is a call for a bigger cause in the society, where you find that you can contribute something for the social welfare or social well-being, it is better to enlarge in your scope of activity and not to confine just to taking care of the children of your children or being confined to household affairs. So if there is a need, then yes, you should rise up to the occasion and think of living the household and taking a course like that of Ivan Prasthi. I will share you some of the story of real Vanprasthis who have taken Vanprasthashram. So there one is from Roger, and other is from the largest Vanprastha ashram in India, that is Jwalapur. So the gentleman who is from Roger, his name is Satyavrata Srivastav. And twice when I went, it was such a coincidence that he and his wife was also there, and my cottage was just in front of his cottage. He was very close to Acharya Ganeshwarji, and Acharyaji used to call him management guru, and he used to call him my spiritual guru. So they had a very nice equation. So he was MD of a company which is Mott MacDonald. Now, there's in the field of infrastructure. They have got a presence in US also by name of H. MacDonald. In India, they have contributed a lot. Half of the Delhi metro was designed by them, and even Delhi airport was designed by them. Mr. Srivastava was MD of India unit, and he was in touch with Acharyaji even before retirement. So he retired on February of 2013, and in August 2013, he got Dikshit into Vanprastha and started living in the Roja ashram. So I asked him, what is your experience now, since it is more than 10 years you as Vanprasthi? So he shared with me, I had a good conversation with him yesterday. So he said there are two things you can say. One is the benefit of being Vanprasthi, and other is the benefit of living in Vanprastha ashram. So he said that being Vanprasthi, I find that I have fruitful engagement. I make full use of time. There's no issue of what to do. Samay kaise pass kare? That's the question old people have. So I don't have that issue. There's a high level of satisfaction. And what Ganeshwarji taught us, that be engaged in Swadhyaya, Sadhana, and Seva. So we are fully occupied with these, and there's a peace of mind, and I'm very happy. The one advantage which he mentioned was the people's expectation is now lowered. People don't call me unless it is extremely essential, and they don't invite me to social functions because they know that I'm Vanprasthi. So that gives him a lot of time. And coming to the ashram, he say that these people are like-minded, and your thoughts are unidirectional. You don't distracted by other things. So that's the advantage of living in ashram. And the dhyan is better, quality of dhyan is better, time for dhyan is more there. And so he is not living all the time in ashram. It is almost 50-50. So he has his own house, big house in Ahmedabad. So half of the time he spends in ashram and about half time in his home. Another lady is Suman Bhalla, very learned lady, and she is a member of my Arya Samaj Dwarka, Delhi. She is Vanprasthi at Jwalapur Vanprastha ashram, and she is also partly in ashram and partly in Delhi. And she is very happy when she's there in ashram. When he comes to Delhi, he say that my schedule doesn't match with the children's education schedule, so there's I'm not able to keep that much time for my dhyan, etc. But I enjoy when I go back to the ashram. She contributes every day one mantra, nicely explained in Hindi, and every morning she sends that to me and a lot of people. She's from the family of Arya Samaj, office bearers of Arya Samaj Lahore. And so she and her husband both are resident of Jwalapur ashram. So I just shared you that what are the advantages these vansprasthis had to share with me. Now coming to if you take vansprasth, what you are supposed to do. So Swamiji writes that you have to leave your household things. You have not to eat the food of house, means it's the comforts of house you have to give up. And the only thing which you take from your home is the what you call yajna and agnihotrika saman. That's the only thing which you carry to your place in forest. Now this forest in modern time, I don't think that is forest should be taken literally, because they it may be good in old times when the forest cover was very big, but with the shrinking cover of forest, it may be, I think, any place which is away from the village, town, or city, and it may be including where there are farmhouses, because I read that with what is to be done by one prasthi is that he will study, he will do one thing, that is bhikshacharya, that is he has to go to the households and beg for the food, etc. Now there Swamiji writes from where, so it may be the other one prasthis or even grastis. So it shows that there are the grastis in all time. They used to live in places away from the villages, maybe like you have the farmhouses nowadays. And so there are not only the vanprasthis exclusively living outside, there are the grastis also, and from there one can fetch food or milk or things like of daily need. So that's the now interesting thing is that the requirement which is I'm very amused, is that he has to think only of giving. He is only giver. He is not taker. He has no desire to take anything. Of course, dhiksha is permitted, but he is not expecting anything from any person. And he always thinks or desires to give something to anybody and everybody. He says that, he has to have compassion for prani matra, for every being. So he has to be very large-hearted. He has to be helping everyone, man, animal, or any creature who he is able to help. So that is the type of mental framework which Swamiji is giving, that you are one prasthi is one whose consumption is quite low, but whose contribution to the society is, or the community is very high. So that's one thing which is very important. And so if there are, I will come to the things which have been prescribed as the duties of the one prasthi, that he has to study Vedadi Shastra, both study as well as teach, and it is Nitya Yukta, means it is an everyday routine. There is no escape from this duty, that every day the vanprasthi should study Vedadi Shastra, that is Moksha Granthas. Number two is he has to be friendly to everyone, and always alert and aware about the surroundings. And Nitya Dene Wala, always giver, and not asking or desiring anything from anyone. And having compassion for everybody, and Bhikshagaran. Now, and Bhikshagaran from both Grasta as well as Vanprasthashram. Now, when I was going through the procedure of Vanprasth Vidhi, I found that it's very interesting. Swamiji has devoted only 5 pages to Vanprasth, 121 pages for Grastashram, and 34 pages for sannyas ashram. So there is very little description about Vanprasthe, because it's a preparatory to perhaps the bigger or more important ashram, which is sannyas ashram. And the additional mantras are only 4. Besides that, Samanya, Yajya, Pragaran, etc., there are only 4 special ahutis or special mantras are mentioned, which are from Yajurveda. And these are Yajurveda 22 chapter. And the 4 mantras are mantra number 2220. And the last 3 mantras are 2232, 2233, and 2234. So one of the mantras we had discussed earlier, that was Ayur Yajyan Kalpatam. And so these are the 4 mantras. One first beginning from Om Kaya Swaha, second Bhunasya Pataya Swaha, third Ayur Yajyan Kalpatam Swaha, and fourth is Ekasmai Swaha. These are the 4 mantras, which are special Ahuti mantras for the Diksha of Vanprasthi. I'm coming to the most important thing, which is relevant for all the ashramas. And without that, no ashram is complete or siddh is successful. And not only ashram, but any good deed, any yajna is incomplete. So this is very important. And this is mentioned, Vedas Tyagascha Yajyascha Niyamascha Tapansicha Na Viprabhav Dustasya Siddhi Gachati Karhichit. Now this is that the interpretation which is given by Swamiji. I think I will read it out in his own words. It is on my book 117 of Sanskar Vidi. And the Hindi version is given on page 119. It says, Jiska Brahmanpan, within parenthesis, सम्मान नहीं चाहना व इंद्रियों को वश में रखना आदि, बिगड़ा या व जिसका विशेष प्रभाव यानी वर्णाश्रम के गुण कर्म पैरेंथेसिस क्लोज बिगड़े हैं, उस पुरुष के वेद पढ़ना, त्याग विदिन पैरेंथेसिस संन्यास लेना, यज्ञ दैट इज अग्निहोत्र आदि करना, नियम ब्रह्मचर्य आश्रम आदि यानी ऑल आश्रम करना, तप दैट इज निंदा स्तुति हानि लाभ आदि द्वंद्वों का सहन करना, आदि कर्म कदापि सिद्ध नहीं हो सकते. इसलिए ब्रह्मचारी को इट इज इन कंटेक्स्ट ऑफ ब्रह्मचर्य आश्रम, ब्रह्मचारी को चाहिए कि अपने नियम धर्मों का यथावत पालन करके सिद्धि को प्राप्त होगी. So what it says here, that the 2 things, one is control on your passion, emotions, and all your senses, whether the action senses or knowledge senses. Control is one. Number 2 is no desire of name and fame, no lokeshna. Now, this is very important. It is in context of Vanprasthashram, Swamiji says, even this feeling of, ego should not come while asking for bhiksha. People should not take pride in that, मैं भिक्षा से खाता हूँ, or so that the samman ki ichha, even if you are a bhikshu, as Vanprasthi, your desire for recognition, it should not, you should not live with that. If particularly you are a Vanprasthi, because even in Sannyas Ashram, Swamiji again repeats this mantra, not mantra, it is a sloka of Manusmriti, and I'm amazed that this was the one which Swamiji practiced to what Ananyaji the other day said, pakwam, to the maximum extent, to the fullest extent. And I read the original from Manusmriti. It is Sammanad Brahmano Nityam Udvijet Vishad Iv Amritasya Eva Cha Akanshet Ev Avmanasya Sarvada. Now, this is, I will read its Hindi version. It says, ब्राह्मण विष के समान उत्तम मान से नित्य उदासीनता रखे और अमृत के समान अपमान की आकांक्षा सर्वदा करे, अर्थात ब्रह्मचर्य आदि आश्रमों के लिए भिक्षा मात्र मांगते भी कभी मान की इच्छा न करे. Now, what a wonderful explanation of this sloka. And I remember an instance, and that instance was that there was a big event organized at Danapur. This is very close to Patna. And it was pravachan by Swamiji, and a lot of crowd had come. A lot of people had come from all corners. When the pravachan of Swamiji was over, the organizers, one of the organizers, took the stage and said, we have never heard a scholar like Swamiji, and all flowery words were spoken in the praise of Swamiji. Of course, Swamiji's praise was genuine, because even the Theosophical Society President Annie Besant has said that after Shankaracharya, there has not been a scholar equal to Swami Dayanand, or the caliber of Swami Dayanand, and such a fearless Swami. She has all the praise for Swami Dayanand Saraswati. So it was not exaggeration, but Swamiji, when he stood, he said that this is not appropriate. Had I been born in the age of rishis like Kanad, Gautam, I would not have been considered even an ordinary Pandit. Forget about, scholar or rishi. So he was such a humble person, and he lived every word of this slok of Manusmriti. He never desired any fame, any name, any honor, any, recognition from the society or from anybody. So this is what is important. And when we are working for the society, it is very important that we work for the good of society, not for earning name, not for earning, recognition for us or a status for us, because I'm devoting more and more time to the society for the society work. So that's what is important. I want to conclude that, number one, age is not prescribed. Age is optional, and it is not only for Vanprastha, even for other ashrams, except that the statutory requirement is that the compulsory education for children above the age of 8, which was the responsibility of the state. But there is no other age prescribed for entering into Grihasthashram or entering into Vanprasthashram or entering into Sannyasashram. Number 2 is it's all optional, and optional means when you are ready for it. When I met Swami Satyapatiji in Rojat last, I remember, so the first question he asked me, Grihasthi ki sab zimmedari puri ho gayi? So that's I think one practical thing, that you are free from your responsibilities, household responsibilities, and now you are ready to take on bigger responsibility of social well-being. So that may be in our context that your children are settled, your daughters or your children are married. So that may be one criteria. Diksha is not essential. You can be a Vanprastha at heart. You can be Muni by man, and you can live as the Munis or the Vanprasthis do and live. So it's like we say, management is what the managers do. So vansprasths is what the vansprasths do. So if you can do all these things which are to be done by vansprasths, yes, you are a vansprasths at heart. It is not necessary that you go to forest or away from home, but yes, you have to keep your focus and you have to be away from those distractions as far as possible. And no ashram is a successful ashram unless the two things which have been mentioned by Rishi at an early stage, even at this stage of Brahmacharya ashram, is that one, you have to have control over senses, and other is all the good things which you are doing, do it for the good of society, not for earning name or fame. So if we observe those two rules and keep on the interest of other people ahead of your own interest, I think you are leading a life of vansprasth. Immaterial, notwithstanding, whether you are living in your own home or whether you are living in your children's home. Yes, you have to ensure that when you are living in your children's home, you don't interfere with them. They don't interfere in your routine. So you have perfect liberty, and you can do whatever you want to do in terms of Swadhyaya, Seva, etc. And if you are able to do, I think you are a vansprasth creator. So that's what I wanted to share with you. Thank you very much. If there are any questions, I'll be glad to answer.
I think we will first have Shanti part, and then I can stop the live streaming. So Shanti part आप करवाएंगे या वीना जी करवाएंगे? वीना जी करवाएंगे?
जी।
वीना जी करवाइए।
ओम द्यौ शांतिः अंतरिक्षं शांतिः आपः शांतिः ओषधयः शांतिः वनस्पतयः शांतिः विश्वे देवा शांतिः ब्रह्म शांतिः सर्वं शांतिः शांतिरेव शांतिः सामा शांतिरेधि। ओम शांति